Astrology Time, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and today is Sunday. It is the 26th of April. Ooh, the moon's going to be in Virgo all day long, so this is a chance for us to really get ourselves on track, health-wise and and you know, if you happen to work today, then you can do that as well. So work-wise, health-wise, it's a chance for us to get back on track. That moon in Virgo is going to be really quite good for us for that. Now, I didn't listen to myself yesterday. I mean, literally, I did not listen to daily-astrocat.com, and I really paid a price for it. Just as Uranus was moving out of Taurus, right towards the end of the day. It wasn't quite the 9 o'clock part or anything like that. It was closer to like 4 or 5. Look, I wanted a brew pub experience driving home. I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be great. Going to go by the store and pick up, a nice juicy IPA and, got a few appetizers that I'm thinking about that we have at home. I can put them in the air fryer. Look, 3 mozzarella sticks and a modest serving of air-fried French fries. Then we had a rustic crust from Whole Foods. Threw some oil on that and some tomato slices and basil leaves and mozzarella. Made ourselves some caprese pizza, right? Delicious, except drizzled with a lot more olive oil, right? Taurus Indulgence with the arrogant swagger of the moon still in Leo. It was delicious, but got to tell you something. It did not sit well with my stomach at all. It made me very ill. To the point where I just pretty much lost the evening, not feeling very good. So, the moon, health-conscious Virgo, has me questioning my judgment. Oh, look, it was delicious. I'm not going to deny that. But I can't handle that amount of oil and fat anymore. And, it was interesting because we had a trine with Chiron yesterday. And that trine Chiron, when I was younger, look, I couldn't handle oil either. So this is kind of like a recurring, those old wounds that recur, right? So, look, IPA does not help me in any way, shape, or form. It could be that they clarify them with Irish moss, which is a form of seaweed, and I have a seafood allergy. Yeah, that can tend to be problematic too. Look, my eyes were bugging me all day yesterday, and they're still bugging me right now. My voice is still not the same either, and so it's just and once again, I do not hydrate very well at all. So, look, I couldn't handle fried foods when I was 10. Now, it sounds suspiciously like that Chiron revisitation, right? Earlier, I was in actually Nashua, New Hampshire, which is pretty landlocked, and my eyes were just watering, and the voice just wasn't holding up. Look, better health is not a joke, all right? It's not something to aspire to someday. It's something we need to actively work towards. This is pretty much a reminder for me, but I don't know if you, and I need to address this right now. But, maybe somebody else felt the same yesterday, and maybe this is something you need to hear. Just pay attention to what it is that you've got going on, and pay attention to what your body's not telling you what it wants, but, what you need is really what it has to be about, right? So maybe you were smarter than me and listened to what I had to say. Maybe you did listen about that Chiron stuff. Look, I'm notoriously bad at the hydration thing due to the amount of driving I do during the week. I just don't like to stop for bathroom trips, right? But big shifts to watch for today. Oh, well, let's talk about today's astrology. That's enough about me. I do like to put that stuff out there because I think it might be helpful to some of you to hear that, hey, the astrologer doesn't really listen to himself sometimes. Oh, I should, right? And that's part of the lesson to take from this, right? You got listen every day, just pay attention. Sometimes I'll listen 2 times a day, right? I'll listen towards the end of the day. I'll listen in the beginning of the day. I'll listen in the middle of the day. Doesn't matter where I listen to it at. I might even listen to it multiple times. So, look, big shifts to watch for today, including the moon correcting this behavior on my part. Okay? and help from a surprising place, your romantic partner. Now, not that that's not that surprising, but the realization that we need to restart. Look, we can get help from them, right? And we also need to realize that we need to restart the work week from our earlier position of abundance rather than scarcity. Serving that Jupiter in Cancer mindset where we're strengthening our base and strengthening our house and our sense of security. So today's keyword is hydration, and the color is wheatgrass juice. Now, the sun in Taurus can beguile us into these indulgent adventures. Uranus in the Antarctic degree didn't help either, right? It was kind of like yesterday. It was like the 1970s version of the word bad, right? Oh, bad is good, right? Yeah, except what really wasn't, right? It was bad. It was bad because it was good, but it was not. Look, the combination of everything that I had done was like a seafood platter at Clam Shack. Fried, delicious, and not for me. Allergies aside, the grease content would be too much. And I can't even be downwind from that stuff, right? Oh, just terrible, terrible things. And it's pretty common with people with seafood allergies. I was at a function once where somebody had brought in shrimp scampi to a corporate function, and there were three of us that all had allergies, and it was just like bam, and all three of us just kind of like disappeared for the rest of the day. I was actually approached by my boss, who said, Shane. She took me by the hand, walked me out to the warehouse, and walked me outside, saying, "You are not yourself. You're lost." And she was right. I was. So I just had to get out there and get some fresh air. So let me tell you, at least she recognized that and was just like, "You can't be in here. You got to go." So look, this is for all of you that need that helping hand, right? That guided by the hand outside. That's what your romantic partner is for. Now look. The lessons here, they're really not about me. The fact is that we can all have a tendency towards these kind of actions at various times. Mine was preventable had I listened to my podcast in the morning like I usually do. Today is the day to correct these actions and get back on track. Venus sextile Neptune is a bit of a spiritual high today. Let love fill your heart and guide you artistically. Money matters matter. So communications, you're going to have to communicate this need, and it has to come from a very personal and an intuitive approach, okay? We can't just go at it and think we can just bulldoze our way into it. We got to be intuitive about it, and we've got to really do the work to figure out how we're going to help ourselves with some of that abundance that we're trying to tap into. Not trying, we are, right? Are tapping into. The moon in Virgo is crossing some important points and is activating a yod between Venus and Pluto. These yod points for me are pretty decent, right? I mean, they mean a lot. We also have that talent trine starting to form between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and that's going to be starting to really kick in the next couple of weeks as Uranus moves further into Gemini, and then you're going to see where those three things will start to come together, and we'll start to formulate some plans for some long-term changes on a socioeconomic scale and also on a personal creative scale, where we're going to be communicating our changes much better, and we're going to actually be working towards acquiring technology that's going to help us do this even better as well. That's that Uranus and Gemini thing, right? So today we're going to be, let's just talk. Events of the weekend speak to this, okay? There was a Leo performance that still baffles the imagination. I bet you can think of what it is. I was robbed of my chances on Saturday via bad decisions. Today, we're on a much stronger footing, able to see yesterday's events from a calm and rational vantage point. Take another sip of water, Shane. Hydration. And actions don't feel possible later on, but the things that we do carry vibrations. Now, in fact, by caring for ourselves, we improve the crystalline structure of our being to better transmit our frequency, facilitate alignments with others, and improve the energy we transmit and receive. The vibe finds the tribe. Keep your vessel hydrated. All right, so if you can believe this, in 1986, the world's worst nuclear disaster occurred when the fourth reactor at Chernobyl The Chernobyl nuclear power station in the Soviet Union explodes, resulting in 31 deaths and radioactive contamination spreading to much of Western Europe. That was 1986. Wow. That's 80, 20, 40 years ago. Holy cow. And our birth is Jeanne-Marie Le Prince de Beaumont. She's born in 1711, and she dies in 1780. She's a French writer, and she wrote Beauty and the Beast. She's born in Rouen, France, and that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Send me some love, okay? Just drop a heart or something like that. I could use it. And I do appreciate it when you do that. Believe me, I'll respond with this flurry of emojis and stuff like that because that's what I normally do, but I always say thank you too. So thank you. Just to sum it up, the keyword is hydration. The color is wheatgrass juice. Today is an 5. It's a 5. Happy astrocatting.